Yo, what's good, my people? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Compton Animator, and I'm here to bring you another WWE review. So tonight we're doing my first Extreme Rules review for WWE Extreme Rules 2014. So before I get into anything, reviews coming up late. I didn't get a chance to watch Extreme Rules on time. Had to catch it, a little bit later. I was at a party today, and my friend fucking cut his hand open trying to open up oysters and shit. So had my own little extreme moment earlier today. So let's get into this fucking review. So WWE Extreme Rules for May the 4th be with you, 2014, and you get the pre-show which kicks off with El Torito versus Hornswoggle. So you get just the WWE really went out and just put everything into this show. And when I say everything, I mean everything from little commentators to midget fucking referees, and just like each one of the commentators got their own little person to sit on commentary with them and do the commentary themselves. It's just fucking insane. WWE went all out for this. So the match itself with El Torito versus Hornswoggle of 3MB just was like, this is the type of match when you say that, okay, what do you put on a pre-show? This is what you put on a pre-show. A match that's going to sell your pay-per-view, and it's going to say people, okay, what the fuck was that? That was awesome. Okay, I'm fucking buying the pay-per-view, or I'm going to get the network. And this match, I think, did that to the exact point. And what things they did was that, things like just using every single body from the ring, from 3MB and Los Matadors, having everybody just jump everywhere and go everywhere and stuff, and things like just the comedy that they played in the match. I think this is their best thing that they've done for us as far as this story between these two characters goes. It was just really great. The everything from like the little chairs to the step stools and the small ladders and stuff like that, and just all the playing around that they did with this match was just very good. So you get things like El Torito trying to go for a frog splash off the what do you call it? Off the small ladder, and um Hornswoggle goes for a hornswoggle. El Torito gets out of the way and Hornswoggle hits the ground. Then you get things like El Torito who jumps off of a chair, then hits a Bronco Buster on Hornswoggle, which is just very good. The crowd popped for that. Like, he raised up in the air off the ropes, then did the Bronco Buster, which was just a very good little scene. Hornswoggle, just was very good in this match, and I thought, okay, El Torito, I knew it was going to be good, but Hornswoggle came in and did his thing here, and not only just him, but like I said, everybody from 3MB and Los Matadores really did their thing here, and putting all the work into this match and just make it a fun match. You get Hornswoggle who jumps onto El Torito on the mini announcer table and goes through the table. Crowd pop crazy for this. You get Hornswoggle who accidentally hits Heath Slater with the chair. Heath Slater goes through stacking mini tables, which is like, everything in this match was just like, they were using great weaponry. They were just doing things awesomely, if that's a fucking word. But you get Hornswoggle who tries to do a move with Drew McIntyre with what's the fuck is this dude's name? What the fuck the dude's name? The Israeli guy that's on 3MB. So he tries to do a move with him, and they end up El Torito ends up sending all of them through the whole stack of shade tables and ladders and chairs and shit that's right here, and just a fucking awesome move, and crowd just went nuts for this shit. So then you get the end of the match where Drew McIntyre misses a dive onto El Torito and lands through on the table on the outside, and then El Torito goes for a seated senton on the Hornswoggle and puts him through a table, and El Torito picks up the win off this match. A very good match right here, and just a great way to open up the show and a great way to get the crowd into the show. El Torito showed why he's here, and Hornswoggle did his damn thing, and I would love to see them, bring more people in like this, especially little guys that can work. And not only that, but use these guys vice versa with other talented people on the roster. really, to tell you the truth, man, Los Matadores themselves, I don't think will be great for any of this stuff because they didn't really do anything tonight. But most definitely, 3MB, Hornswoggle, and El Torito, them guys really played well tonight, especially Drew McIntyre and Heath Slater. They really did a good job tonight. El Torito, Hornswoggle did a really good job tonight. Everybody else was just okay for what they were doing. So let's get on to the actual pay-per-view itself. And there's Hornswoggle laid through the table. So let's get to the actual pay-per-view itself. Extreme Rules, WWE Extreme Rules 2014. And before they started the show, they showed, let me get to my page real quick. Before they started the show, they showed a really good video package of just, the promos and all the skits and everything, the matches and stuff that's been leading up from the Bray Wyatt Cena feud, the Shield Evolution feud, and also the Daniel Bryan Kane feud, and they just mixed them all together and presented them as a whole war scene of everybody's going to war, and that was just a very good thing to open up the show with. So you start off the show with your first match, which was the Triple Threat Elimination match, which was Rob Van Dam versus Jack Swagger, who came out with Zeb Coulter. And you have Paul Heyman, who comes out, and Paul Heyman gets on a mic and he just starts putting over himself, saying, how this is the night for Extreme, and this is really the only time the WWE is really good at what they're doing, because they're basically copying off of him and using his trademark to do everything. And you start getting ECW chants from the crowd and stuff like that. And he goes on, just to bars Brock Lesnar's name into the whole thing, and then he gets into introducing Antonio Cesaro. And I think this was a great person to do the first promo of the night to kick off the show. So you get Antonio Cesaro, who comes out to the horns, the sirens, and you start off the match. You get all three guys just, getting ready to fight, and they just go in. This match itself I thought was pretty solid, and it did a lot of what it needed to do to, get everybody over. I thought that Jack Swagger did an okay job here. The match kind of started off a little bit slow, but once things like, the big swing started to happen and Rob Van Dam started to get into a flow, then it made Swagger get into his flow, and, they started getting better and better with the moves and stuff like that. You get moves like this, which Cesaro was trying to go for a move onto RVD, and RVD ends up powerbombing onto the floor, which was very good. Then you get Swagger, who throws RVD off the top rope, then uses that to put him into the ankle lock, which was another good move. And you get, just a lot of good slams and kicks and just hits in this whole thing. And I just thought that this match was very fun to watch. This was a good spot right here too, when Swagger slams Rob Van Dam, then Antonio Cesaro ends up hitting him with the flying European uppercut, which is a very good move. I think Swagger didn't sell it well, but Cesaro really did it well, just coming in and just, the dude's form is just fucking perfect. So you get the first elimination that comes through with Jack Swagger getting getting superplexed off of getting brought from the apron and superplexed off the apron over the ropes, and then superplexed. When Cesaro does that, where he picks you up and then picks you up freely off the apron and then superplex you over the ropes. He did that, then RVD automatically hit him with a frog splash out of nowhere, and you get Swagger, who ends up eating a pin for that and getting eliminated. So you get then a match you get the continuation, which is between Cesaro and Rob Van Dam, and they just go at it and have a pretty good match going into their they just did everything that they needed to do. The chemistry wasn't fully there, but things like adding a trash can to the mix was really good here, and they did as much as they could with the little amount of stuff that they were let to do as far as Extreme goes. So I thought it was pretty good, and they had a fun with it. So the match comes to an end where Rob Van Dam tries to hit a frog splash on a chair that was laying on Cesaro. Cesaro moves out of the way. Rob Van Dam hits not the chair, but a trash can, hits the trash can, and hits the trash can, and then Cesaro picks him up and then does the neutralizer onto the trash can with Rob Van Dam, and Cesaro picks up the win. So a pretty solid match. It had a few chemistry problems here and there where, a couple of moves were botched and stuff like that, or guys didn't sell the moves right. But for overall match, I thought this was a pretty fun match. The crowd wasn't too much into it at the beginning, but towards the middle, especially once some big time moves started happening and the swing started happening, and towards the end, crowd got into it and it started getting real fun. And also, it's kind of hard with Cesaro being in the spot that he's in, because people don't know whether or not they want to cheer him or not. So hopefully they can get that fixed in time soon. So next match you get is Alexander Rusev versus R-Truth and Xavier Woods in a handicap match. Just before I go into this match, it was funny. Somebody posted on Facebook that Xavier Woods is the incarnation of Little Jimmy. So I laughed my ass off when I heard that. I was like, God damn, you low-key is. So you get Lana, who comes to the ring first and just looking as hot as ever. And she basically tells them that she's honored to be in this match, and this match is dedicated to Vladimir Putin, and basically dedicates the match to him. Then brings out Alexander Rusev, who's now billed as being his residency in Russia now. So he's the Bulgarian brute who lives in Russia. So you get R-Truth, who comes out and says that they're doing this match is dedicated to America. And Alexander Rusev beats up on R-Truth and Woods before the match gets started, throws Woods into the guardrail, slams him, and you get the trainers who are trying to check up on Woods, and Woods doesn't do anything in the match from here on. You get R-Truth when the match starts, who gets a lot of offense in at the beginning, but Rusev ends up squashing that and just going at him. Gets a couple other moves in there, but Rusev gets it, and fucking allergies. And Rusev puts in an accolade and picks up the win. As far as this match, well, let me finish it. So then Rusev goes and attacks Xavier Woods and slams him again. But as far as this match goes, I thought this was probably the worst match of the night. Everything about it wasn't there. You get the crowd who was chanting for Lana the whole time, and Rusev wasn't getting over, neither was R-Truth and Xavier Woods. I think if they would have let Truth and Woods actually work the match and actually do some stuff where they're actually being a double team against this big strong guy, then you would have probably got something really great. And you probably could have did a double accolade onto both Xavier and Truth. And that would have been a tight ass move, but the way they did it was just kind of like, it ended up just being a regular one-on-one match, and it was just kind of boring, to tell you the truth. And the crowd didn't pop for it at all, and the thing they popped for was Lana's fine ass. So yeah, it was what it was, and yeah, the worst match of the night for me. Let's go on to the next match, which was the IC title match with Big E Langston versus Bad News Barrett. And you get Bad News Barrett, who comes out first, and he gets on the mic. And let me get to the right page. Hold on. So, yeah, he gets on the mic and he starts talking about how a virus just entered the United States, and that everybody in the U.S. is going to get sick and strucken down from it. But then it's going to be Big E who is going to be even sicker after Bad News Barrett beats him for his title, and he's going to be sick and strucken down from that. So it was an okay promo, not his best thing that he's done, but he's still trying to look for things to add the crowd in with it. When I think that it should be more of along the line of him shooting this promo thing at Big E and saying something, vicious towards Big E. So hopefully you can get that fixed, and, these can be better. But you get Big E Langston, who comes out and gets ready for the matchup, and your IC title match starts. So this match was an okay match here. Both of these guys were very athletic. They did their job of, going in and trying to do the best they could to, just make a cool match out of what it was. It kind of felt like it didn't fit because it didn't really have a stipulation to it. It was just a title match for the IC title. And even though both of these guys went out there and put an okay work in, it kind of, hurt itself because Bad News Barrett was getting most of the cheers from here, and Big E was getting very much booed. And just not only did that fuck with the chemistry of the match a little bit, but just the guys, it just didn't feel right on this show. But the match itself was pretty okay. You get both of these guys who just work really well as wrestlers and came in and get their movesets out, and they were doing everything they needed to do. You get one part of the match where Bad News, where Big E does a tackle onto the outside of the ring, and does a tackle onto Barrett, who's standing on the ropes, and knocks him into the outside of the ring, and Big E goes through the ropes, knocking him that way. And I thought that was pretty cool. You get Bad News Barrett, who does the what do you call it? The Cactus Jack elbow from the apron onto the floor, and I thought that was really good. A little tribute to Cactus Jack. And then the match goes towards the end where Bad News Barrett hits the wasteland onto Big E. Big E kicks out. Then Big E goes for the big ending. Bad News doesn't. He doesn't hit. Big E goes for the big ending. Bad News reverses it. They do a rope run, and then Bad News ends up hitting a flying bull hammer and picking up the win here. And you got your new IC champion, Bad News Barrett. Like I said, it was an okay match for what it was, but certain things like not having a stipulation and just feeling like a regular Raw match kind of hurt it a little bit. I felt that these guys could go a little bit harder here, and they could have found something to do to get the crowd on their side and make this match more exciting. So the next match you get is the Shield match versus Evolution. And before this match earlier tonight, you get Evolution, who comes out and they have a talk with Renee Young, and it's basically Triple H saying that that we got Evolution has egos, but their egos is what makes them over, and what makes them be the best thing that they can be, because they deserve to have it, that they have 36 titles under them. And he starts to put over Randy Orton and stuff like that, and he puts over Dave Bautista, saying how good all three of them are. And then he goes to say that, you get Orton to come in and say that the Shield will perish, and then they say believe in Evolution. So pretty good promo. And also Evolution has new T-shirts. I don't understand what they were. Like, they were shirts with Evolution on there, but they were skulls. So I don't know if it was that they're old and decrepit or whatever it was, but they were okay looking shirts there. It was pretty funny, like caricatures of Evolution themselves. But you get the match where Shield versus Evolution. Evolution comes out first, Shield comes out second. They get in the ring and they just have a big standoff. Then they go and brawl, and you get Shield, who stands up first and clears the ring, and you start getting your match. Now, this match here was okay at the start. It was a little slow. You had Seth Rollins, who came in at the beginning and was really holding the match and really getting it over, and doing a lot of good movesets and stuff like that. And once this Evolution started hanging on and getting over, the match got real slow and just you could say methodical with it. But the beatdown of Seth Rollins at the beginning just felt slow to me, and I kind of got out of the match a little bit here. But once Seth Rollins took that in, and he got into doing a reversal onto Randy Orton and then tagging in Dean Ambrose, it really got hype. And Dean Ambrose, just his energy right here was really a great thing, and he was a really fun player in tonight's match. You get him doing a figure four leg lock, which was just I forgot that a figure four leg lock could look so cool and be done so good when somebody that can actually do it right does it. I'm looking at you, fucking Miz. You can't do the goddamn figure four. Give it to Dean Ambrose. But he puts on a figure four leg lock and does it very well. Triple H ends up knocking him over for it, and then they start getting to it. Dean Ambrose getting beat down. So Dean Ambrose gets beat down for a little bit, ends up tagging in Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes in, starts clearing house. They start going back and forth, and just this is when the whole match starts going a little bit crazy, and everything is happening. And then you get Batista, who ends up eating a triple power bomb and almost ends up getting pinned, but the Evolution pulls out what's the dude's name, Roman Reigns, and saves the match. So you get Randy Orton who gets in and hits a RKO onto Roman Reigns, and then Triple H hits a pedigree on Roman Reigns, or one of them happened first. Then you get Roman Reigns who almost gets pinned by Batista, but I think Seth Rollins came in, and Seth Rollins came in and saved the match. So then you get Seth Rollins who's get pulled out by both Randy Orton and Triple H and starts getting beaten up on the outside, and you get I'm trying to stop saying then you get Dean Ambrose who runs the tables and jumps onto both members of Evolution, and just a very good scene right there, and I look he marked out for that. Just this dude as a wild man is just very good here. So you get them, Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and the other two members of Evolution running up the stairs on the outside and just fighting each other in the crowd, and they just start going at it. Not Dean Ambrose, but Seth Rollins ends up getting slammed, and you start hearing holy shit from the crowd, and then Dean Ambrose gets thrown down the stairs, and then Evolution starts going into beating the shit out of Dean Ambrose, and out of fucking nowhere, Seth Rollins runs the crowd and then jumps off of the, what do they call that shit? Jumps off the balcony and dives onto everybody, Dean Ambrose and the Evolution members, and just does a very good dive, man. And the crowd went nuts off of this, and I really did like this move, and just it really made the night right here. Just Seth Rollins going and putting his whole body into it. And you get all of them laid out on the ground, and just I was hyped over this, and I was like, oh shit. And then you get back in the ring, Batista and Roman Reigns gets up. Batista tries to go for a Batista bomb, misses it. Roman Reigns reverses that into a Superman punch, then hits the spear and picks up the win. And you get the Shield who beat Evolution. At first I was like, okay, before the match happened, I was thinking that Evolution should win to keep this going, but the way this match went, man, the Shield is going to continue looking strong, and fucking hey, they're a powerhouse. I don't know what the fuck you can bring to beat down the Shield. I mean, as far as a faction goes, dude, there has not been a big enough faction that I've seen from any company probably since the Nexus, when they started, us as a complete faction. These dudes are it, and they're doing very well. So yeah, the Shield picks up the win. They celebrate, beaten and battered, but they come out winners in a really, really good match here. So next you get the cage match with John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. And you get John Cena who comes out first, then Bray Wyatt. And you get a match that just starts off very nicely here. John Cena and Bray Wyatt go at it from the beginning, and you get things like Bray Wyatt pushing Cena into the cage, and then Eric Rowan smoshing Cena while he's on the cage and just knocking him down right there, and just everything. I think both Cena and Wyatt really came out here, and they really just, had fun with this match. And, it was a little bit slow at parts when Bray Wyatt was doing more of the character stuff, but I liked it for what it was, and, it just kept doing what it needed to do. Cena really did do some nice moves here, like the sit-down powerbomb off when Bray Wyatt was on the ropes, take him off the ropes and hit him with a sit-down powerbomb. And then the way he played with the other Wyatt members was very good. You started getting the two Wyatt members who get into a test of strength thing with Cena when Cena's trying to get out the ring, and they basically slam the door onto him, and when Bray Wyatt kind of interferes with that. And you also get something that was very funny when Cena was trying to come down the ladder, and Eric Rowan just climbed up there like a gorilla and just had Cena on top of his head and just pushed him directly back into the ring, which was very good. Like I said, the match itself was really good, and the way the Wyatt family worked with Cena was very good. They still played him as the big, strong superhero type character who never gets beaten. It takes fucking a million things to defeat him, but they really came out and did it. And Bray Wyatt himself really did really to show his strength in this match. Even without the other Wyatt members, I felt that Bray Wyatt could have won this match on his own, but he was really overconfident with certain points and stuff like that, and really doing other things to kind of just fuck with Cena's mind here, and I really did like that here. You get a part where Bray Wyatt tries to get out and Cena kind of goes for it and just smashes his head with the gate. And, you get the other Wyatt members who put him back in the ring again. Luke Harper ends up getting to the ring at one point. Cena goes for the STF, and you get a tug of war with Cena and Eric Rowan trying to pull Bray Wyatt out of the ring and Cena trying to pull him back in. You get a AA off the second rope onto Bray Wyatt. And just, Cena was really going out here and really doing the good moves and stuff like that. And he really did a fun little, just different things in here. Pulling Eric Rowan's beard and hitting his face into the top of the cage, jumping off the ropes and doing a leg drop onto Luke Harper. The match goes to the end where Cena does this, then think he's going to win and get out the cage. Lights go off. Wyatt's do the little screen effect, and this kid comes up and he starts singing. He got the whole world in his hands in this deep, creepy ass voice. And like, I don't know what to think about this when I first saw it. It was just like, okay, what the fuck is this? Like, and like, it was just weird as shit, man. And the look on Cena's face was like, just priceless. Like, what the fuck? And I just really did like this scene, Took me by surprise because I didn't know what they were going to do when the lights went off, and this was really good right here. So you get the little boy that starts singing. Bray Wyatt comes from behind, hits him a few times, and then gets him with the Sister Abigail and takes him, pin him, and Bray Wyatt gets the win. And Bray Wyatt just stares at the camera like, it's your ass now, motherfuckers. Like, it reminds me of 12 Years a Slave when at the end of the movie, the guy's going to find out that he gets set free. Not really a spoiler because he gets set free because he writes the fucking book. But he just looks into the camera and just like, you believe this shit? So the way Bray Wyatt looked into the camera, like, it took all of this to whoop this motherfucker's ass, and just, it was fucking crazy, and it added to the dynamic of the match, and I really did like that at the end. So you get Bray Wyatt who comes out and starts hugging and congratulating with the little kid, and just this little motherfucker, man, just looked crazy as shit, dude. I got a picture at the end of this that I'm gonna show you, but so yeah, you get Bray Wyatt who's just cheering on. He goes up the aisle with the little kid, and they got him with him, and they're just cheering and just. Man, just a crazy ass thing, the way to end that match. I really did love it. So yeah, this was a really good match here. I thought everybody did their thing. If I had one gripe about this match, it was that it took so much to beat Cena. I would have loved it if it just, wasn't the two other Wyatt members that were dealing with the match, and it was more of Bray Wyatt and Cena going at it and having a brutal all-out match. But, I'm not sure if it was Cena that could do it, to have that type of match with Bray Wyatt, especially in that condition. So, I thought it was really good for what it was. And I thought the Wyatt family did a cool job of, doing what they did. And just Cena looking distraught here. So, this picture right here, the little kid looking like this dude from the Corn, that was a creepy little motherfucker. So, later in the night that you find out his name is... Let's see if I got it. The little kid's name is Johnny, and you get Bray Wyatt who's in the back who tells Johnny that, we finally beat Cena, and Cena's now going to, Cena's now going to have to follow the buzzer along with everybody else, and basically saying they whooped the shit out of him, and now we have everything that we need to, for Cena to be beaten down, and let's go on to the next thing. So I'm not sure if they're going to continue more with Cena, or they're going to move on to the next thing, but this right here for Bray Wyatt was a good win, and I wish there was a win at WrestleMania instead of here, but I thought it did a very good job for what it needs to do with Bray Wyatt. So, next you get your main buffer, which was the Divas match, which was Tamina versus Paige. You get Tamina who comes out first with that nice little perm, and you get Paige who comes out next, and she does her primal scream, and you start the match. This match right here started off pretty cool. The Biggest problem with this match was that the crowd wasn't into it at all. You just got the Shield match, and you got the Wyatt family versus Cena match, and it's just kind of like they expanded themselves throughout that. And I guess this is why this match is used as a buffer. But I kind of would have rather it been like the Rusev match than this match. But I thought these ladies did a fine job for what they had the chance to do. You get Paige, who starts off the match early, basically trying to outmaneuver Tamina and do as many moves as she can. You finally get Tamina, who catches Paige, and while Paige is trying to go up on the ropes, and she super kicks her onto the floor. And you get Tamina, who brings her back in and starts just pounding her into the ground and hitting her with these slams. And Tamina's trying to hype up the crowd. Paige tries to hype up the crowd, but it wasn't working. You get Paige, who tries to go for a Hurricanrana. Tamina catches her and reverses it into a throw into the barricade. Just slings her ass into the barricade, and that was a pretty good spot. And Tamina just goes again and just started to do as best as she could. So she tries to go for a super kick. Paige reverses that, and I think she either reverses into a move or into a pin. And you get Tamina, who comes back with a slam, and Paige ends up coming back with a Scorpion Deathlock, a reverse Scorpion Deathlock. Oh, what's the name of the shit? A modified Scorpion Deathlock, a crosslock. And she ends up submitting Tamina, and Tamina taps. And she kind of taps really quick. I didn't really like that either. But as far as this match goes, I thought it was an okay match here. Their chemistry wasn't so great. I thought it was okay for what it was, but I would have felt that if they would have went faster with this match and just really put a lot more into it with both girls, kind of like how AJ and AJ and Natalya did their match at TLC. It was TLC, and just how they kept a quick pace with the match and just the submissions and everything that they were doing. But I guess Tamina did as best as she could, and I think that she did a pretty chill job here. So did Paige. So I thought it was a pretty okay match here. And even though the crowd wasn't into it, the ref kind of botched it several times with his pin counts, and it was okay for what it was. So next you get your last match, your main event, which I thought this was going to be earlier in the show, and I thought the Shield match was going to be the main event. But you get your main event, which is the WWE Champion, Daniel Bryan, versus Kane in a Extreme Rules match for the WWE World Heavyweight title. And this match starts off with Daniel Bryan coming out and just interrupting Kane's music and starts attacking him first. They both start going at it. Kane tries to powerbomb Daniel Bryan, but Daniel Bryan ends up turning that into a Hurricanrana off the ropes. Kane does the sidewalk slam onto the chair, and Kane, brought a kendo stick in, and he was mostly bringing in all the weapons into this match. They start going back and forth. Daniel Bryan ends up doing a tornado DDT off of the announce tables onto the floor, and they just start fighting and brawling. Daniel Bryan gets the kendo stick and just starts smacking the shit out of Kane with it up the ramp. And Kane takes Daniel Bryan, hits him into the Titantron. Then they get to the back, and this is something that we haven't seen in a long time. Wrestling actually in the fucking backstage, and the crowd started booing at first, I guess just because the match wasn't in ring. But once these guys started getting at it, they got into the match, and I wish that you could hear them more while they were doing this stuff. So you get Kane, who tries to hit Daniel Bryan with a TV, but it ends up going into a tank of ice water, and ends up blowing up because of that or whatever. And they just start fighting backstage. They fight in a car. Daniel Bryan ends up getting flipped into the car. Kane tries to throw a propane tank at him. That goes through the car. And Kane ends up putting his hand through another car, which is a very good spot. And Daniel Bryan gets a crowbar and just starts fucking Kane up with it. And beating the shit out of him. Tries to drag him back into the ring after that, but Kane is too heavy. So he has to find out something to do. Puts him on a lift and starts beating the shit out of him and brings him to the side of the ring with the lift. When I saw this, I was like, okay, this is very cool. The whole beating him with the crowbar thing was cool, and just putting him on this was a great way to bring him back to the ring. I wish that this damn vehicle was faster, because it fucked with the timing of the match by having it take so long to get to the ring. So he finally gets him to the side of the ring and dumps him into the ring. Daniel Bryan gets on top of it and does a bunch of yes chants. The crowd is hype as fuck at this point, and ends up doing a flying headbutt on the Kane, and that was just a very good move to, a very good spot to do off of the crane lift on the Kane. So you get him doing the yes chance once again, setting up the knee plus. Kane sits up. Daniel Bryan runs for it. Kane reverses it, gets him into the choke slam, hits the choke slam. 1-2. Daniel Bryan kicks out, and they just start going at it. And Kane finally gets Daniel Bryan through the main announcer's table, and Kane pulls out a table, douses it with gasoline, light that bitch, and Daniel Bryan and him starts fighting on the apron. Daniel Bryan ends up knocking Kane off on through the table, and Kane goes through a flaming table, and just another very good spot right here. What was the last time you seen a fucking flaming table in the WWE? Like, they really did throw everything at you in this match, and I was trying to think, okay, how this match is going to work, and I guess it just worked by them throwing everything they could at you. So after that, you get the guys on the outside who try to get the fire out as quick as they can. Kane kind of gets blinded by it. He rolls into the ring. Daniel Bryan hits him with the knee plus, picks up the win, and Daniel Bryan starts cheering, beating and battered, cheering up the ramp. Kane sits up and looks at Daniel Bryan, does his pyro, and they just have a big stare down. So for me, like I said, that was a very good match right there, and it did exactly what it needed to do to, make a match that didn't have that much build up to it pretty good. Like I said, the timing was off in certain places. Kane botched a couple things, especially like throwing the chairs into the ring and stuff like that, and a couple of the moves that he did on Daniel Bryan. Like I said, my biggest problem with this match was the timing a little bit. I think it went on for a little bit too long here. By the end, the crowd was very tired. You can tell by cheering and all that stuff. So when Daniel Bryan was getting ready to do the whole yes chants and stuff, they didn't really get a chance to, get in with it, and they weren't as hype as they was at the beginning of the match. But like I said, I thought it was a very good match. When the fuck ever do you get to see wrestlers fight in the backstage ever? I was thinking about that the other day. Like, what the fuck was the last time we saw wrestling in the backstage? Like, it's been so fucking long. But the show altogether, I thought that you had a lot of fun matches, man. The kickoff match was very good. The triple threat elimination match was pretty solid. The Shield versus Evolution match was very good. Started off a little bit slow, but the middle and the end most definitely made up for that. The Wyatt versus Cena match was very good. Had a very creepy, interesting ending to it. And the Daniel Bryan versus Kane match was a very good match, and helped almost steal the show if it wasn't for the Shield match. And those were the two best matches of the night. I would go with the Shield match being my favorite match of the night, just from what Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns was doing and how dominant they was. It really did. That match really did show the fact that that the Shield is in their own league, and that Evolution is kind of the old guys. They weren't as crisp as the Shield. Their beatdowns weren't as fun to watch, and it just wasn't as great as what the Shield was putting on in that match. And the Shield really did make that match something special. So as far as my grade goes for the night, I would give this show a B+. Like I said, there were certain things that really didn't move it for me. The IC title match was kind of, just okay. The handicap match was pretty bad, and the Divas match was okay. It kind of came at the wrong type of spot, and the crowd wasn't into it at all. And yeah, you had a couple parts like the beginning of the Shield match was a little slow, and just little things here and there that I didn't really love. But as far as the night goes itself, a B+. It almost was an A. It almost was a perfect show, and it almost was a really good show. But yeah, thank you for watching my review. This is my Extreme Rules review, 2014. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit me up in the links down below. If you want to find me on Facebook, you can find me at Christopher Wallace. You can also find me at Big Chris 145 on Facebook. Compton Animator anywhere. So yeah, thank you for watching. Peace. Oh, and the Spanish announce table didn't get destroyed tonight.